So, in terms of your top 5 players in the league, who do you got, Efren?
Right now in the league,
Yeah.
top five.
If there's
You
no
think?
LeBron on your team, I will
Yeah.
hurt you.
I'm yeah, then
You know
LeBron.
that's gonna
That
happen.
LeBron is
Do you
out.
want to do top 5 or top 10?
I went to top five because LeBron's out, bro. I don't even get a
Just the
ring,
top.
bro.
Just the
That
five.
guy's
All
that
right,
guy's
top
already
5.
that guy's already in that. That guy already has a structure. Because
Well, there better not be any Bulls on that either.
I better not hear no DeRozan.
Trust me, trust me, it's not. I gotta go with Luca. Luca's one, of course. You know, it's the baddest white boy I've seen since Larry Bird, and I didn't even see Larry Bird that much. But Luca, he's a baller, bro. Luca, he can do things that, man, I wish I could do on the court, and makes it look easy. Second, I gotta go with
Hey,
Tatum.
don't make that face, Amos. It's because he moves like Luca.
I gotta go with I gotta go with Tatum. That kid can ball. Tatum is a baller. He can do a lot of big things. He's one of the guys that I think can make a good rivalry against anybody he plays against. And he has that Jordan and Kobe mentality that he just wants to win and he just wants to he wants the title. And I think he can get one too. My third, I'm gonna have to go with Jaw. Jaw is he's my third. Yeah, Alan, you're hearing that right. Um,
I'm surprised that he's even in your top 5, dude. To be honest with you.
Yeah, me
he
too.
reminds me of a young Derrick Rose. You know,
Derrick Rose didn't act like he was from the hood.
Yeah.
He was from the hood.
yes, he was. But Ja can do a lot that other players can't. I just don't think he can do what Tatum and Luka do. And number 4, I gotta go with the two big men, man. I gotta go with Embiid and Jokic, 4 and 5.
Who you got
Who?
4? Who you got at 4?
I'm not gonna lie to you. It's a tie for both of them. I can put them either 4 or 5. You know, I don't
Who besides Jokic?
You said Jokic and Embiid.
Embiid, okay.
Yeah,
You could, I'll let you put them both at 4 since you said they're tied. So who would you put at 5th?
and bring it to the 5th. That's a hard one. Gotta go Dame time, baby.
Dame time, okay.
Dame
You don't think
time.
Giannis is top 5?
No.
Oh wow. I'm
I
surprised.
feel like Efren's been low key, and Efren, and you won't even argue this, Efren. I feel like Efren has been
Trolling us.
not a no, but I'm not gonna say he's a hater, but like Efren has wrongly been, I guess, just not as appreciative as Giannis. Going because you have to remember this. Going back to us, like
But
2
he
years.
does that with everybody, though, bro. He does that with everybody that he don't have no or a dislike for, no respect for.
What are they proving to me? 4 points that he can't win a championship by himself.
But Efren,
But he did, bro.
He did. And Efren, you were so
But he
worried
already
about
did.
And can you remember this? You
Stealing Holiday. How is that by himself?
Hey, I just want to say this before. So he said
no one does it by
Luca.
themselves.
He said Luca's the baddest white boy since Larry Bird. Then he said Tatum because he's got a Jordan mentality. That's a Chicago tie. Then he said Ja because he plays like another Chicago player.
Yeah.
Chicago in the house all the time, baby.
Anyways, so you said Luca, Tatum, Ja, the big men tied, and then Dame time. Okay.
I like Steph. Hold on. Don't. Nothing about Steph. Steph is a great player. Amos, nothing to get. Like, I always have this argument. No, he's not top 5 of all time yet. Yeah, he's a great scorer. Everything. And we always talk about this. Remember, and then there's other players out there, but I just feel like the guys that I mentioned right now, these guys are that right now at the NBA. They're the future. Let's be honest. Steph, yeah. I thought, well, how much more? Honestly, let's be real. How much
He's probably
more
got 10
time?
years.
Yeah, but compared to these guys,
Yeah. I mean,
Steph was
Steph's just got to keep. Like, how old is Usain Bolt? He's just got to be fast enough to run around screens.
Efren though, but I'm not mad. Just to be clear though, like it's all good. You not naming Steph's totally fair. Like you can't. I mean, I wouldn't name him this season, right? I mean, I do think you have to give players longevity and what they've done. So obviously that matters. But when at the end of the day, all these players are. It's when we're arguing semantics, right? Semantics.
Yeah.
You got to talk about the current guys. And so I have no problem with you not naming Steph as a top 5 guy right now. You know, and he's older too, so I don't have an issue with that.
And no offense to LeBron, but just let the younger player, let your son come in. Let your son come in and do something big, LeBron.
What do you think, Amos? Who's your top 5?
So first off, yeah, because Efren knows, like, Steph is my boy. Like, I've been riding with Steph for so long, and just what he's been able to do over the last few years has just been crazy. But unfortunately, you can't name him top 5 right now. So right now, as a top 5, it's so close, man. It's so close for me, my top 5. I think these guys are just razor thin, specifically my top guys. Oh my gosh. So I want to put this guy at number 1 so bad. 2 years MVP, right? Leading it this year, arguably. Not saying he's going to win it. Nikola, the Joker, right? So I want to put him number 1 because his efficiency is out of this world. And I usually give the guy when it's equal. Because back in the day, it was always when it was equal, you would go with the big man, right? When it was a big man and guard, you would give it to the big. Where nowadays, it's typically you want to give it to the guard, the wing, because they have the ball in their hands, they can shoot threes, they can create. The Joker is different, though, where he can do all those still. He just plays at a lot slower pace, right? And so it's hard for me to use what I'm going to say against him because he literally is the focal point of that offense. But for me to ignore Luka and what he's doing right now, what he's done in the playoffs specifically, especially last year, it's just tough. And so because of that, because of Luka just being so special and him being that guy, and then as you guys know, I'm the pure guy, the efficiency PER guy. He is number 1 right now in the league, and so it's hard for me to just ignore Luka. What's up?
Said the new GOAT.
Yeah, he's that guy. So for me, I'm going to go Luka number 1, but it's so tough. I'm going to go the Joker number 2, and the stat that I had gave KJ that I had, and it's a crazy stat too because I've never seen anything like this, honestly. The Joker, as of today, what's the date today, guys? What, February 24th?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's shot under 50% one time, and that was October 28th. So since October 28th, he's shot under 50% one time. And that's a remarkable stat for a guy who's not sitting in the paint like a Shaq, for example, just doing hook shots and layups and offensive rebounds, doing a Dennis Rodman. So he's super efficient. Every single game, Luka is going to have the ball in his hands. He's going to arguably get you a triple-double, and he's just efficient. And that's all that matters is he's efficient. He's doing it the right way. And his team always number 1 in the regular season. So at the end of the day, he doesn't have playoff success. I totally agree with y'all. And, if we want to make the arguments over someone because of that, fair. I won't be mad about that. But just from an efficiency standpoint, from being MVPs, he's already done everything. He's done it. So I'm naming him number 2. It's Luka and Nikola 1 and 2 for me. Number 3 gets really tricky. Being honest with you guys, I probably have to go Giannis just for his longevity, what he's done, MVP, playoffs, and he hasn't really fallen off this season. So I probably have to go Giannis number 3, followed by Embiid number 4, who I'd argue Embiid's probably been better than Giannis. Let's be real this season. So that to me, 3 and 4 are just so close. Like they're really close. It's stupid hard, honestly, to argue those 3 and 4. And then 5, I go easy Jason Tatum right now. Jason Tatum is playing remarkable. In fact, I'd low key want to go Jason Tatum. You could arguably talk me into putting Giannis number 5, Tatum 4, and Embiid 3. Honestly, in fact, with Giannis being hurt, I'm gonna take the easy way out. With Giannis being hurt right now, I'm gonna go Embiid number 3, Jason Tatum 4, and I'll go Giannis 5. And I'm only disrespecting Giannis because he's hurt. And honestly, Tatum's year this year has been crazy. I mean, he's put up a great year. He's a two-way player. He can score, ISO, shoot. And shooting is a big deal, especially in the playoffs, and so obviously he struggled last year in the finals. I get that, but he's a true special player. So that's my top 5. And it's crazy for me to not have a KD or a Steph or LeBron, but to Efren's point, man, that's the new guys. It's a new era. But I'll just say lastly, to put a little controversy, I do love me some Ja, Efren. I do love me some Ja, but man, me and KJ was talking about this a few days ago, and honestly, man, if you compare Ja's numbers with the guy in the West from Midwest, yes, Shea's had a better year, bro. He really has, and he's been more efficient too. And so, I think potential-wise, it's hard to go against Ja. And
Alexander,
look at the numbers. Look at the numbers. Look at the numbers.
Alexander, wow.
Bro, I know you're the Ja guy, but like, look at the numbers. Even if you look at the most recent MVP races, Shai's actually moved ahead of him. Shai's been that special. So basically, I'm kind of surprised, Efren, you did go Ja that high, but I don't hate your list though.
Well, the thing is, I understand what you're saying about Joe, about the Thunder, but
Okay.
yeah, but how can you have those numbers? Look at the team he plays for, and look at the team that Ja plays for.
He's efficient though. No,
Yeah,
but
the thing is with me is you don't have your where's. Can you let me know where the Thunder are at in the playoff seeding?
They're
The play-
they're 11th.
Okay, and
Yeah, they're out of the the play.
I know he's doing all these points, but how many games are they losing and he's doing this?
Are you saying he's a Zach LaVine, where he's playing good on a bad team?
Thank you.
I'm not agreeing with you. You said that last year, and I said that's not true. I'm just asking if that's what you think.
No, Efren here is
I love it. I love it.
This is where so I know, but this is where I get upset with a lot of people that try to put player. I'm not saying he's not talented. Gilchrist is a very talented player, but you can't put him right now. If you're playing on a bad team, of course you're gonna have great numbers. Look at LaVine. Look at LaVine now. Look at LaVine. He can't do shit.
Can I jump in for 2 seconds though?
Yeah.
So, but I so disagree with that take because that happens a lot. It's the old Monte Ellis thing. Monte Ellis.
Yeah.
With the Bradley
we all know,
Exactly.
we all know this, Efren. Like, it's the old
Exactly.
Monte Ellis thing. You're on a bad team, you're going to score numbers. It's what you do. Someone has to score. We get that. No arguments there. But the difference is Shea is efficient. If you look at his PER, he's shooting.
He's probably shooting less shots too.
He's shooting less shots.
I'm gonna check real quick.
Brendan, calm down. So I'm just saying, like, he's being efficient. Defensively, it's not comparable. It really isn't. Look at this defensively the stats. So I'm just saying, from a PER standpoint, I'd buy it if he wasn't efficient and his field goal percentage was bad. But compare their field goal percentage too, Efren. I promise you. Go ahead and compare it. Go ahead. Like, I'm just saying, like, we looked at the numbers, man. Shea is that guy, and from a PER standpoint, he's as efficient as hell, and he doesn't have those guys like Memphis around him to help. He is literally the focal point, just like Ja is. But I'm just saying, Ja, as you know, and you wouldn't argue.
That's not true though. Amos. There's a couple of young guys on that team that are playing their butts off.
Yeah.
That kid from Australia.
Giddy's a good player.
Did I say, Alan? Did I say he was the only good player? I didn't say that. I said he's the focal point.
You said he was the focal point. I don't even think he's the focal point of that team, though, bro.
Who?
You'd be wrong if you said that. KJ, is he not? He's trying to argue that Giddy is the focal point of OKC, and he's not. He's not.
No, he's more of like a early on Tyreek Evans, where he does everything. So what it is Ja's taking 3 more shots a game than, or 2.5 shots more than Ja, and you got to realize if Shea's the only scorer on that team, they're gonna double him more than Ja gets doubled. because Shea can shoot from 3. So he is getting double teamed more. Because who's the second best scorer on the Thunder that you guys can even name? Nobody. Giddey's not averaging that much, I don't think. But even then, is he averaging as much as Jaren Jackson? Is he averaging as much as Desmond Bane? No. So Shea's going to get more defensive help, or whoever's guarding Shea is getting more defensive help than whoever's guarding Ja.
They wouldn't even be able to tell you who the top 3 scorer on OKC is right now. I mean, no, you know what I'm saying? The fact is OKC doesn't have scorers, so it's a bad argument to make to say, oh, well, he has to score, and like he has to score. I mean, he is on a less talented team and he's more efficient. That you can't argue that. So again, if you want to talk about who has more potential, sure, who you like better, no question, argue that. But again,
who's been in the league longer? Who's been in the league longer?
You can't say. Shea's been in the league. I think they're about 1 year apart. Shea was on the Clippers the year that Ja was in college, but other than that, I think they've been in the league for. Yeah, Shea's only been in the league for 4 years, and Ja's been in the league for 3.
How were his stats? Can you give me his stats when he was in the Clippers, please?
When he was a rookie, yeah.
Yeah, Shea.
Shea when he was a rookie.
Who was on his team?
Shea, when he was a rookie, he averaged 10 points.
So, by the way, now we're going to go to 2018.
Let me ask you this then. Let me ask you this. If you reverse if you put him on the other team, who's still going to be the standout?
Shea or Ja?
Yeah.
Shea. I mean,
I think Ja would, because you're flipping spots. But what I'm saying is that.
So you're saying that Gilgeous-Alexander would be the focal point of Memphis if he was on that team.
I see what you're saying. He wouldn't be as much as he is in OKC. No question about it. You're right. But again, no question. I thought you were right. I thought you were saying if he were to go to OKC, would he still be the primary guy? Right? Ja.
Giddey is definitely not the focal point, because he only averages 16 and Shea's averaging 31. So there's nobody on that team that's comparable to Shea.
No, I understand the analytics, but you got to take into consideration that who is the more dynamic player? Who is the guy that does more? Who's the guy that looks better doing it?
But that's the same argument they've been doing with Kyrie and Dame. Who's the better player? Dame. But since Kyrie's more flashy, people think Kyrie's better. Just because Ja has these flashy dunks.
but there's other measurements on that too. I mean, because Kyrie is not a leader and Dame is a leader.
A leader to what?
Dame is a guy that's going to smack you upside your head and tell you let's get on board. Kyrie isn't going to do that kind of stuff. All he's going to do is dribble the ball around and sometimes pass it, and most of the time shoot it.
Luka's been in the league for 4 or 5 years, and he's made as many Western Conference Finals.
He's got to carry his team.
And so did Luka, and they've made the same amount of Western Conference Finals, and Dame's been in the league for 12 years.
We're not talking about Luka, though. You didn't say Luka.
But you're saying Dame's a leader.
And Dame.
But you're saying Dame's a leader. Dame has gotten them to 1 Western Conference Finals, and then
but who has he had help? Who has he gotten help from?
When he was going up against the 8 seed Pelicans, they got swept when he was a 1 seed. What did he lead them to?
Bro, but we're talking about a 1 seed during the regular season and then experience in the playoffs. And who did they get swept by?
They got swept by a second-year Anthony Davis.
By the Pelicans, though, yes. Right? Who probably had more firepower than he had on his team. It was
Drew Holiday and Anthony Davis versus Damian Lillard, Yusuf Nurkic, C.J. McCollum, and they had one other player.
Bro, come on. You're gonna C.J. McCollum and Jerkic? Come on.
You're saying it like C.J. McCollum's not putting up like 23 on New Orleans right now.
Oh, he is.
But what were we just talking about Monte Ellis? What were we just talking about Monte Ellis?
You're saying New Orleans is a bad team?
No, I'm not saying. Well, they are without. They're barely getting
because
it done.
Because they missed 2 players. No, they missed Brandon Ingram for 2 months, and they've missed Zion ever since Brandon Ingram came back.
Exactly, but they got more pieces. But they got more pieces on that team.
Not when Dame was the 1 seed.
Dame have on his team.
Dame had C.J. McCollum. He had Yusuf Nurkic. All Anthony Davis had was Drew Holiday.
Guys, I think we're going a little too long. All I'm saying is, at the end of the day, Efren, you had a good list. I think I had a pretty good list. I'm just saying, my point is, again, look, potential-wise, if you guys want to say Ja is going to be better, I have no question about that. In fact, I would probably pick John. I'm just saying today, efficiency wise, you can't. And the best way to talk, obviously, to talk about who the focal point is just go to usage, right? I mean, usage. It should have never been in a debate who on OKC is the guy. It's clearly Shai. And so I'm just saying from an efficiency standpoint, he's been better. It's why he's higher on a lot of MVP races than Ja. But going forward, if you guys want to pick Ja, I think a lot of people would probably agree with you guys. I'm just more trying to give Shai a little hype, man, because he's been absolutely fantastic this year. And you guys know I don't like OKC. I don't mess with him at all. But I just more wanted to give him props. But good opinions.
And I understand that. I agree. I agree with you giving him props, but I think that you are such a numbers guy. It just cracks me up. You're such a numbers guy. You don't even look at all the intangibles. I mean, okay, great. He's got great numbers, but where's his team? Nowhere. Outside the play-in.
But Allen just said they're a terrible team.
They were terrible. They were terrible.
He's a good player on a bad team.
Yeah,
but he's not a top 5 guy. He's not a top 5 guy.
He's not saying he's top 5.
Yes, he is. He said, I could put him there because of the analytics.
He said that.
I could put him over. I could put him over Ja if you're going to take Ja, and then you're going to put somebody over him because of the analytics.
But he never put Ja in
top
5.
All the intangibles in there. Where's his team? Who does he have around him?
He was talking. Amos was talking about how Efren has Ja top 5. Amos said that Ja's not top 5, but he would put Shai this year. Anyways, we were going too long about this.
Anyway, go ahead,
Alan.
KJ. Who's your top 5, bro?
You're wild. I never said Shai was top 5. I never said even Ja was top 5. So, Efren, you know what I said. KJ, you know what I said. So, anyways, Alan, what's your top 5? Go ahead.
No, go ahead, KJ. Who's your 5?
My top 5 is easy.
I don't care about the NBA anyway, so.
My top 5, my number 1, I got to go with Giannis.
Giannis,
hey. Like Amos said, Jokic is a 2-time MVP, but so is Giannis, and Giannis plays way better defense. He's a champion. I think he is, as of right now, the face of the league. As of right now. At number 2, I got Luka. Luka is just that guy. I've been riding with him since I saw him play when he was 16 years old against Westbrook when he was in Europe. Number 3, I'm going to go with Jokic, and I used to tussle and say that Embiid was better than Jokic, but Embiid has had a better team throughout his career than Jokic, and he's gotten just as far as Jokic has gotten. So I have to give it to Jokic. He's the PER prince now. He's, like I said, he doesn't do nothing in the playoffs, but neither has what's the furthest Embiid's got is like the second round, and that was when he was against the Kawhi when he won when he hit the shot.
Yeah, that was in the conference finals, wasn't it?
No, that was round 2. Because in the conference finals they played the Bucks, and then that's when like Kawhi.
That's
Giannis
right.
and
That's
stuff.
right. That's right.
That's when the 1 year wonder stopped Giannis. Everybody thinks Giannis is fucking top 5.
He lost. That was when Kawhi won the championship. What are you talking about?
That's what I'm saying.
It wasn't Giannis' year.
You had to why do I put Zach LaVine in that top 5?
Yeah. So why would Luka be number 1? He ain't done nothing except score a bunch of points.
Hey,
what do you
mean? About that later.
Hey, what?
No,
he ain't won nothing. He ain't won nothing.
He went to a Western Conference Finals with Jalen Brunson as his sidekick. Number 4, I got Joel Embiid, and I'm doing 6. I don't give a damn because I'm not leaving him out. 5 is Tatum because he's basically Giannis. He's Giannis light. He's light Giannis. And then number 6 is LeBron. I don't care what you say. LeBron's been my top 6.
Put him up on your top 11.
LeBron, have you seen it? If you've seen when he sits or when he doesn't play,
he probably wouldn't be in your top 25, E. So we don't want to hear. We don't want to hear your. We don't want to hear where you. We don't want to hear where you're going to put him because it doesn't matter to us.
But if you look at the stats,
personally, I take your opinion of him with a grain of salt, bro. Personally, I feel the same way about how you feel about LeBron, about how you feel about the Cowboys. Okay.
If you look at LeBron's stats when he's either on the bench, hey, this is for the other 2 people and the subscribers. I don't want to hear you. If you look at LeBron's stats when he's either on the bench or he's not playing that game, the Lakers are negative 194 points, which is by far the worst in the league. It is LeBron is the only reason. If you look at after their 2-10 start, they're 26-22.
Whose fault is that? Whose fault is that?
Anthony Davis's. Anthony Davis's.
Who made that team?
Rob Pelinka.
Who? No, don't bring
Genie
Rob
Bush.
Pelinka. Who made that team? Who made that team?
It's not LeBron. They said
Shut
LeBron.
up.
They said LeBron has no input.
That's why I don't understand. LeBron is the general manager of that team right now.
No,
he's the head coach.
Hey, we're getting way too far off the subject, guys. We're getting way too far off the subject. We still got some other stuff to talk about. It. I mean, unless you want to spend the rest of the time on this, it's already 6:15.
Yeah,
let's go.
We'll just say we'll hold on to a LeBron podcast. So it'll probably be 4 hours.
Later. Yeah, we're gonna need.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Alan, what's your top 5?
Oh man, I want to put Jokic at number 1 too, but he just hasn't done enough in the postseason for me to make him number 1. So I got to go with you, KJ. I got Giannis at number 1, and I think that you're absolutely right. He's the face of the league. He's the one guy that has been more consistent throughout his career or over the last 5-6 years than anybody else, in my opinion. He does everything, and he's improved every year. Okay. My number 2 would probably be Jason Tatum. The kid is just, he's played beyond whatever, anything that I ever expected from him coming out of, where's he from? Duke?
Yeah.
Yeah. And, he didn't really, I wasn't that impressed with him at Duke, but he definitely is an impressive ball player. So I'd have to put him at number 2.
Is he a superstar?
Yeah, I say he's a superstar.
Because I know people were saying that he's not a superstar after that finals.
He just needs to show more leadership skills, but he's got a complete game. I mean, like you said, he plays defense. He's another version of Giannis. He just hasn't taken control of that team.
And doesn't have the frame.
No, I think he does. I wouldn't say that
he's not the frame of Giannis, a 7-footer who's 240 just running through people.
Yeah, but Giannis is still kind of slight too, though. I mean,
he's skillful, I think, too. Giannis.
Yeah, he's got more offensive skill than Giannis.
Yeah, he probably does. But I think he's a more complete player. I would probably then put Jokic at number 3, and then Luka at number 4.
Wait, who was your number 1?
Giannis.
Oh, it was Giannis. I got you.
So
okay.
Giannis, Tatum,
and then
Jokic, Luka.
Okay. Luka 4.
And then my number 5 would be Embiid, because he's a big man that can do everything too. And he probably is more mobile than Jokic is, but he hasn't stepped up. He might get it this year, though. He hasn't stepped up to take that MVP yet during the regular season, but he might get it this year.
Hopefully, I want Embiid to win.
So,
can I ask a question?
That would be my top 5.
So besides Efren being the ultimate American, loving the Cowboys and everything, all of us really have 4 of the top 5 players are all foreigners, and Tatum.
Yeah,
Tatum's holding the American flag for us.
Well, KJ, I think you, me, and Alan had the same. Even though Alan thought he heard something else, you and me and Alan had the same top 5. We just had different orders, whereas Efren had a different top 5. Sounds like.
Yeah,
better top 5.
An American top 5.
Yeah, remember, a better top 5.
Basketball was made in America. Don't you say that all the time?
No, you're lucky we're not big enough to have Europeans.
Why they got a Euro step? Why they got a Euro step?
All right, Mr.
Bayern was made in America.
Hold on,
Mr. Bayern Munich.
That's ruined the game. The Euro step has ruined the game.
Before we end this little thing, you guys top 5 are great. Are a great 5. Giannis is a great player, but still, no offense to Giannis, I see him going against. If Jokic has an NBA title or Embiid has an NBA title, we're not talking about Giannis. Let's be honest.
Maybe if you say Jokic, but Embiid, no, because Embiid has no MVPs. No
but woulda, coulda, shoulda is what does that matter, man?
Well, no, he's saying if in the future, if Jokic gets a title, he's over Giannis, which maybe, but
no, Giannis, I don't think it is.
But he doesn't have the defense that Giannis has. That's my point. I don't think he is. And that's where he's even tied with Jokic.
He doesn't have the movement. He can shoot he's a bigger Luka. The game is really slow for him. So I wouldn't put him ahead of Giannis. He would never be the face of the league. Whereas Luka would, he would be if he wins a title.
For me, it's just hard to go with anybody higher than Luka and the Joker, especially the Joker. I mean, listen. Jokic has literally won the last 2 MVPs, can maybe win his 3rd in a row. I get the playoff thing, but it's hard to really have anybody higher than him other than Luka. And then, yes, we're talking about longevity. I can't hate you guys on saying Giannis because I did at first have Giannis. I just think, man, my 3 and 5 between Giannis, Tatum, and Embiid, I just think it's so close. Whereas 1 and 2, I'm just more firm with those 1 and 2. But I do think we all make good arguments. I don't think anybody makes crazy arguments or anything awful.